When are you going to take the court?
I answer the second part first. I don't know, but hopefully soon. Hopefully you can feel my enthusiasm to get ready to get out there and play. But I'm gonna follow the training staff and go on the schedule that they got me on. So hopefully soon after break. But as far as Devin, it's just he has a pure game. He can score from every area of the floor with efficiency. He's athletic, but he don't really show it a lot, but he can. Like last game, he had 2 dunks. It surprised me out of nowhere, even though I know he has that in his tool bag, but he's just such a quiet, efficient scorer, and he goes about his business on and off the court in just a mature manner. And I just wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to be a part of his journey and see, how good he can get from here. And, he's just one of those players that I really admire, and people are going to be doing classes on him once he's done playing. Like, you can learn so much from watching his game.
Kevin, Shane Young with Forbes Sports. Welcome to the Valley. Do you think your defense still gets under-discussed, being in, almost 2 decades in the NBA, and people just still talk about your offense? Do you feel like that gets under-discussed, and how much do you think you're going to be able to contribute on that end for Monty and the staff?
I understand why. I can score the basketball. People like scoring, and defense is not the glamorous thing in the game. So, I understand why it may not be discussed as much, but my coaches and my teammates trust in me on that side of the floor, and I'm looking forward to adding that to this team. I see they do a lot of switching on some stuff, and they fight over a lot of screens. The stuff that I like to do, protect the rim, and I think I add value to a team with my defense. And like I said earlier, I think my defense always feeds into my offense. So when I'm locked in on that end, I could be better on the other side.
Kevin, to your left, Chris Mannix with Sports Illustrated. Kevin, you were 18-2, the Nets were before your injury. I want to know, what was your reaction to Kyrie's trade request? Is there any part of you disappointed that you couldn't have finished what you started?
Yeah, I was upset that we couldn't finish. I thought we would have some good momentum. We were finally building the culture that we always wanted. I felt like every game we were building our chemistry. But I didn't know what was going on with Kyrie and his situation with the organization, so I didn't really focus on that. I only focused on what we were doing on the court, and it was a blow to our team. It just took away our identity. He was a huge, huge part of what we do. His game, he's a Hall of Fame player, a great, great player that can do everything on the floor, and we relied on that. So without him, we didn't have a clear identity. So that was tough for me to stomach, and I loved playing with those guys throughout the year. I felt like we had dudes that were stepping up and doing stuff that they didn't do on their previous team. So I enjoyed everything about it, and it was tough to not finish the season, but I just tried to move forward as quickly as I can and try to figure something out for myself, but also still focus on trying to rehab and get back. So it all happened so fast, but I'm glad it worked out this way.
All right, we'll do one final question. Kevin, right here, Colin Harmon, ABC 15 Sports. You came into the league at the tail end of the 7 seconds or less era, and all that talent was homegrown on that team. Now I look at the backdrop, and 2 of the 4 up there are future Hall of Famers that chose to want to come to Phoenix. I'm curious how maybe the evolution and the perspective among superstar players in the league about playing in Phoenix has evolved in your time in the league.
It's definitely evolved. I felt like once I got into the league, I came in 2007. Phoenix was always one of the top teams in the league. It only been a few years actually where they weren't one of the top teams. So they always had a solid team. Somebody always respected. And when you came in here, this was a battle. You knew the crowd was going to be into it from the tip. And I think one of the best teams that, since I've been in the league was that team that didn't make the playoffs, that were like 45 and 37, I think, with the Twins and PJ Tucker. And I think that was one of the teams that really sold me on, like, all right, this is a destination to come play. This is a place that, they really get behind their team. So, and also just the style of play that team had, I feel like that's always evolved in the fast pace here in Phoenix. So that drew me here. You always keep an eye out on organizations and teams throughout the league, throughout your career. this is one of the teams always and one of the cities I always respected. And, you know, I'm glad I was just able to come full circle, and I'm here now.
Thank you for helping us welcome Kevin Durant to the Valley. We ask that all fans make their way to the exit, and we hope to see
Kevin Durant being introduced as a member of the Phoenix Suns. We have been following alongside you here from Salt Lake City, Utah. Chiney, Ogwumike, Kendrick, Perkins, Richard Jefferson. I'm Malika Andrews. There were so many things that KD said that stuck out to me. Namely, he got a little bit emotional, it sounded like, talking to Nick Friedel about his time in Brooklyn, and then now turning the chapter to some unfinished business, it seems like he feels like he has, and trying to execute that with the Phoenix Suns. What stood out to you most, Chiney?
Why did he choose Phoenix? And I think we got the answer straightforward. It's because he wanted to align himself with guys that work. Talking about Chris Paul, we know he has a zero-tolerance policy for how he handles the game. Devin Booker and also DeAndre Ayton, those guys that have hard motors.
I just want to see his impact on DeAndre Ayton on the defensive side of things. Him and Claxton were doing their thing in Brooklyn. I want to see how him and DeAndre Ayton do on the defensive side.
No, I think it's amazing. You know, look, I'm glad that he said what he said. There was a lot of positives leaving Brooklyn. Yep. But one thing we know about Kevin Durant, he craves stability. He craves high-level basketball, and I think he's going to get that. But shout out to my guy, James Jones. His nickname is Champ for a reason. This man knows how to put together a squad. Respect.
Well, we have so many more. I have so many more thoughts, at least on this Kevin Durant press conference. We heard so many questions answered. We will get into all of that tomorrow on NBA Today, live from Salt Lake City. For now, we're going to send you over to this.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.